All right, everybody, what's going on? This is your boy Trey, aka CanTreGame, and this is not necessarily going to be a video, like nothing on YouTube or Twitch or anything. This is kind of just me talking, straight up to PlayStation. I just want to talk about, I guess, Season 2 and how I'm feeling about the meta and the current changes to the system and so forth. How I felt about it initially and how playing it, how I currently feel. Obviously, you can see I'm a Jenny main. That's all needs to be said here. And so far, I just don't think I'm a fan of the meta. Another thing I need to get over really quick is, if you can't tell, I am sick. You know, we get hit by a snowstorm and the weather's dropped, so I do have a stuffy nose, woke with a headache, and I got a sore throat. So I apologize for how my voice sounds. But as far as this meta goes, I'm really not a fan of it. I'm just gonna describe some of the things I've encountered and at least some of my issues that I'm having with the gameplay. The first thing that stands out to me immediately is the hard knockdown changes. That's crucial to me. Like, and I know Jenny has them changed in the patch. Some of them I don't like, and some of them I do like, but I'm not gonna get into that because I went over that on a live stream. But it's not even really her changes anymore. Some of them I think are great, some of them I think are terrible, but I can work with the changes. I just have to try to play the character different for the season. It's just my game plan, right? I just can't get over the knockdown changes, really. That's kind of what it comes down to for me. At least when I'm playing games and I'm running sets with people, like I've ran like 3 sets with Jack in the lobby, and each time I've tried a different strategy to get around this scrambling issue where I'm just getting rolled in my pressure. I've spent time in the lab coming up with setups, but every time it's kind of like RNG. And I guess I should just go on record and say that even before these changes, one of the things I really struggle to deal with in this game is dealing with rolls that soft knockdown. I would never soft knockdown because I was just very bad dealing with rolls. It just every kind of time to hit whenever they rolled, I would hit too early and then would get counter hit, or I would just hit too late and get counter hit. I was just never good. The only thing I was consistently good at doing when it came to dealing with rolls was grabbing the hit, but trying to actually attack on roll is just not my specialty. I was not a tech roll type of person who could have setups to catch both rolls and opposites like rolls. I was never good at chasing down rolls. And that was a big struggle. So obviously you can see dealing with Season 2 is just, that issue is just amplified times 10, and it's been really hard to adjust. I'm finding multiple situations where I'm doing combo routes and the opponent able to just get out of my pressure altogether, and I can never really chase them down. So the only thing that I'm finding that's at least been working for me, or the only way I've been able to combat this, is at least the gameplay I'm having been going with, is I've been having to do a lot more just playing lame since they buffed the heavy fireball. It travels faster. I feel like I'm having to play, and I'm going to go into some other games I played. It feels very much like I'm having to play an Injustice 2 / MK11 style of gameplay, where I'm having to do a lot of backdashing and keeping distance and just throwing fireballs. When they get close, fake the fireball, get them to jump and try to anti-air them, or air grab them, or air to air them. You know, I'm having to do a lot more backing up, playing lame, and zoning fireballs. Which I think Jenny can play better now with the fireball buff, but I don't think she excelled at that gameplay at all. Her fireball is not particularly strong, but I feel like I have to play that way until I get SPG. And then when I get SPG, it feels fine. Like when I have SPG activated and I can actually go for Reblo setups, hard knockdown, go into some medias, go into cross-ups, go into I get actual Oki, then it feels fine. I feel like I'm playing last season Jenny, I don't have any problem. Like I actually somewhat turn the game around and even snowball then, but outside of SPG, or when I lose SPG, I feel like I have to play that playstyle and it's just not good. I get a hit and they're scrambling, they're rolling. I gotta predict where they're gonna roll. If they're not in the corner, it's really hard for me to do that. And I've had some setups that I've been able to do, but even then, you know, like I guess it could be a skill issue. Even when I have opposite selects for the roll, it's still really hard for me to do it. I still get hit sometimes. Like one of my biggest struggles has always been people just rolling and mashing. Like I've never been good at dealing with that. I keep getting counter hit. I keep getting thrown on wake up. They're just, the scramble meta is just in there for me. I'm having such a hard time dealing with this. And the part where I get into the MK11 here is because the MK11, one of the problems with that game, which is why I'm wondering it was like one of the least popular MK games, is because in that game, the defense was so strong on knockdown because you had quick recovery, you could roll, you could delay wake up. There were so many options. You had invincible wake ups. There were so many options in MK11 to get off the ground that you just felt like you never had pressure. And now I feel like I'm playing that same type of game when it comes to Fatal Fury Season 2. I just feel like there are so many options on knockdown where I can never really enforce anything, and I find it quite frustrating. But to deal with those things, as I've been playing more sets, I've been getting better, but there's times where just that RNG element of tech rolls, and on top of also having to deal with potential DP and stuff, you have DP, you got Wake Up Super, and of course the tech roll as well. There's a lot. There's a lot on knockdown I have to deal with as you don't have a hard knockdown. I do think it is meta, the stocks for characters like Tezok, potentially Mr. Big, the characters who can still get forced Oki, like by having via command throws or whatever. That's why I think Tezok's going to be a really good anti-meta pick. Just my prediction. I think it's going to be really good this meta because he still has hard knockdown to get Oki and get his meaties going. I think those characters are going to go up tremendously, but I don't think that this is a particularly fun meta for Jenny. I don't really think she was ever built for that. She was supposed to be a character who's more of she had strike throw and she still can do that. But her main thing was doing a lot of the pressure was really good. The pressure opposite could hit, it got better in some places, worse than others, but that's fine. But she was really supposed to be doing a lot of safe jumping and Oki setups. She was like really strong on Oki. And that's kind of a huge change that I'm really struggling to get past. I don't think her strike throw game is particularly strong unless you get them in the corner. Because they're in the corner, you get the overhead meaty setup, you can still do safe jumps, you get a projectile plus frame. There's a lot of dirt you can get, throw loops happen in the corner. So she's still really strong when getting in the corner and throws really good. But mid-screen, her throw game is just not that strong. And these have to do with trying to catch people. And, backdash still a thing, really strong fireballs are still a thing, which you're seeing a lot more people do. They're doing a lot more fireballing and running away now. So that's not particularly fun. And I get that adds to the frustration. It can already be a pain in the ass for me to really catch people, especially when you're a dasher. If you play a dasher, you know the pain of that, having to dash in and try to get someone who's backing up from me and playing lame. And then now when I finally get that person, I have to deal with them rolling on everything I do. And if you're not just constantly going for, I guess, option selects with their tech traps, it's just they get another chance at life and do it all over again, have to catch them over and over and over again. And that's a pain. In fact, it's actually one of the reasons when I was like lesser at this game last season, is actually one of the reasons I ended up quitting the game. The higher ranks I dealt that a lot. And I wasn't really good at, particularly, like I said, I wasn't really good at dealing with that type of play. I've gotten better, obviously. I came back, I got better. Obviously the rank could show that. And I had gotten adjusted to dealing with the playstyle, but now it's like Season 2, I'm gonna do it all over again, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. So I don't really like this meta, particularly I don't like the scramble meta. I just feel like it's gonna promote a lot more of the, at least what I'm dealing with, a lot more of the lamer playstyle. It just adds a lot more RNG and casino to knockdown, which I'm particularly not a fan of at all. I think they should have just maybe left some moves hard knockdown and some didn't. I think it would have been fine, but if I'm going to continue playing this game, I'm going to have to learn how to do it in some way or another, but so far I'm not a fan of this change. And I can get to a personal issue too. So one of the things that Jenny hated dealing with was rev guard, because it pushed your opponent out of the pressure, and she had to, do something creative like a target combo or throw the rev fireball to pull them back in and, keep them blocking. It also just killed a lot of her cross-up stuff, right? So that was really strong. But it was something you could play around if you were smart. This patch, I don't know what she's supposed to do against ref blow. Because I don't know if you're anybody who dealt with this yet, but they added so much pushback on a lot of her hits. A lot of her main buttons, close C, the close D, even some of her light buttons have extended hitboxes. If the opponent rev guards that and you happen to do close D, which had the most pushback out of any move in her kit, or close C, and they rev guard, not only are you dealing with the pushback of her close heavy buttons, but rev guard is just accelerating that pushback tenfold. Like if you ever attack somebody and they rev guard, they are pushed so far out of her graph that neutral is basically reset. and you got to catch them all over again. So it's just those things like the pushback changes, a couple of red blow is annoying, the random RNG I had to deal with and try to chase down roll all the time is annoying. Just trying to actually catch people is annoying, and having to actually establish my knockdown pressure is just annoying. I have to really get them to the corner. Like anytime I hit somebody, my main goal is to travel to the corner as much as possible. I can establish strong strike throw and keep them a knockdown of throws and start up frame traps. But outside of those things, I'm struggling, man. I don't like this meta. But it's just my honest opinion on the patch. I think that basically when it's something like this, I feel like if your character, and I think I told Nash this, if your character excelled at playing neutral, I guess, so if you're like particularly run characters or characters who didn't have to struggle with knockdown too much, if you had a way to lock down rolls, or you had like a run to the run OS and all that, then this change really affect you. I think you're fine with the meta. I think you enjoy it, because I think to those players who have that playstyle already, or the characters who can really thrive in that type of environment, you're seeing it as, well, my character never struggled with this at all, and now I have more chances to deal with when I get pressure put on the ground. I can roll now. So overall, you're going to like this change, I think. But if you're particularly a dasher who didn't really have a lot of ways to lock down rolls, or if your character was like strongest when it came to set play, so some characters come to mind, obviously Jenny. Jenny is one of those characters. Kim Dong-hong is one of those characters off the top of my head. He's one of them. I mean, Kine and Marco for different reasons. They're the reason this change even happened. But I'll throw them in there too, because they're another character who's strong on set play. Ronaldo is another character that comes to mind. Soccer ball, Oki. I feel like if you were characters like that who really thrived off hard knockdowns, and you don't really like the patch at all. Like, I think this patch really hurt those type of characters the most. And most of them being dashes besides Dong don't really have too many ways to really lock down the roll, so it's just very frustrating. Because if you don't really have ways to lock down rolls that your character that didn't excel at neutral, then yeah, this is a pain. Like, I think this meta is going to dedicate. I think this meta is like severely skewed mainly toward the runner characters, and characters like Terry, who could catch roll really easy. Rock, I think this is meta. I think this is, in particular, your Hoku's meta. I can still see Hotaru thriving when her roll got slowed down. I think she's still really strong. Fireball's really good. She still has a run, like I said. She does have a command grab and hard knockdown, so I think she's going to be fine in this meta. But yeah, that's just my takes. I'm just not a fan of this meta. I don't really know if I want to, and not my honest opinion, I don't know if I really want to keep trying to adjust to this meta, because like I said, it's really difficult. It's really difficult. I'm seeing a lot of people at least post safe jumps to the character that can work, but the safe jump isn't my problem. Like I said, when I have SVG or when I have super, I know what to do. Like, those situations are fine. Those are still season 1 Jenny things, safe jump and whatnot. It's really just trying to think of combo routes and ways to try rolls that I particularly already struggled with, that I could deal with by doing setups of hard knockdown that I have to deal with again. So that's really my struggle. So yeah, this meta just isn't for me. I know I'm really going on the ramble, but I try to go into as much detail as possible on things like this. So yeah, that's my opinion. I know people disagree or whatever, but this is how I feel about the meta currently. I'm hoping it can change, but it hasn't really been a fun time. I'd dare even go as far as to say that these changes are actually making me want to take another break from the game. As unfortunate that sounds, I really just came back and started playing a tournament again and started getting good placements and really grinding the game and stuff. These changes are pushing me away. Again, I don't like these changes. But I don't just want to be someone who's just playing and then the game suddenly skews them. I don't like it. I don't want to play it, but I don't really know how else to. Currently, the game is just isn't fun for me the way it is now. And I don't think we're going to see any changes until like 6 months of the characters come out. All the characters released within a 6-month time period. So, yeah, that's me. But I don't know when I'm going to catch you guys. Next time I come back, it might be a Tekken stream or something, man. I don't know. The City of the Wolves, the city is just not. It just isn't my meta right now, man. This isn't my game to enjoy anymore, I don't think. I'm lacking the vision with the character. It's the best way I can say it. Nobody's really showing me anything I don't already know with the character. So like, and they're not showing me anything that really fixes the core problem I'm dealing with her at the moment. So hoping I can see some text and some posts or some way to get around this situation, but it's just not for me. I was never a brawler. I was never built to be a brawler. I'm never good at brawling and scrapping. I was never good at the neutral in this game, and I was never good at having to chase people. My main style of play was playing defense and playing set play. My main style was set play, locking my opponent down, forcing them into uncomfortable situations to where I could force their hand to do something and basically control the match. I had more of a control play style. Setups, controlling my opponent to do things. I forced their hand to make them do something they didn't want to do, and I capitalized off them being nervous and their mistakes. That's how I played. And I did that off safe jumps, overhead meanies, and force not down situations. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. I'm heading out now. We'll try to. I don't know, man. The future's looking bleak for me right now.